Chapter 3, Gitana, Invasion. Gitana woke up late that day. They had all stayed up until midnight playing games, then Gitana and her parents cleaned the kitchen and washed the party dishes. She lazily looked at the clock on her bedside table and saw it was already 9:30. She guessed Plum had left for her Saturday morning ride, bow and arrows in hand. Gitana wanted to practice archery together, but she supposed they could do it later in the day. The castle was quieter than usual. Perhaps everyone was having a lazy morning. She hopped out of bed and tiptoed down the hall to her parents' bedroom and knocked quietly. Her mother's voice beckoned, "Come in." Her parents looked like they had just woken up themselves. Her father lifted the covers and patted an empty spot on the bed. Katana skipped over and plopped herself right between them. Her parents hugged her tightly and kissed her cheeks. "Did you have fun last night?" her father asked. "Yes." "What was your favorite part?" She had to think. "Giving Plum her present." "Aw," they said in unison. "We love your good heart," her mother smiled. Gitana beamed at the praise. People often told Gitana she was pretty, but her mother waved away the compliment, always answering, "Yes, pretty is as pretty does." Gitana knew that true beauty came from within, and her parents said her kind eyes were the windows to a beautiful soul. She snuggled in a little more. "What was your favorite part?" she asked her parents the same question. Let me think." Her father paused, looking up to his right at an invisible memory. "Mine was the cake," her mother exclaimed predictably, since lemon was her favorite and Plum's father had made it. Mine too. Is there any left in the..." Her father was interrupted by 3 loud knocks at the door. "What on earth?" her mother exclaimed, then loudly answered, "Yes, come in." She wrapped her robe around her and opened the door a crack. It was one of the castle guards. "Governor, there is an urgent note from Sketlam Watchman." This was odd. Gitana knew nothing about a watchman in the village. Her mother opened the door wider. "Let me see it, please." She looked over the contents of the letter, eyes widening. "What is it?" her father asked. Her mother paused, quickly considering whether she should speak in front of Gitana. Urgency won out. "There is an army approaching the castle. Apparently they are less than 5 miles away." Her mother's eyes were as big as saucers now, but she kept her composure. "Gitana, go get dressed for riding, but right now, and do it as fast as you can." Her parents began to grab their own riding clothes. Gitana ran back to her room and selected a long white shirt, white stockings, and the soft leather riding jacket and pants her grandmother had sewn for her last winter. She raced back to her parents' room, holding her boots. She passed Plum's room and found Cordy asleep on the bed. Gitana stopped to wake her and asked where Plum was. "I'm writing Berkey," Cordy mumbled. Her father came to the doorway. "I'll find Plum. You just get ready and listen to your mother." She nodded and continued, her face crumpled with worry as she ran back to her parents' room. "Gitana." Her mother knelt on the ground in front of Gitana and held her face close to hers. She spoke evenly, sternly. "Take my fastest horse straight to the cliffs and ride along the edge toward the woods. If you go far enough, about a half mile, you will see a magnolia bush. About 5 paces after, there is a hidden trail where you can climb down to a rock ledge wide enough for you to sit on." Her mother took Gitana's hand and ran with her to the kitchen. She grabbed Gitana's school backpack and emptied the contents on the floor. Then she threw in some food, water, a lantern, matches, and a piece of paper. "Send the horse back to the stables, then climb down to the ledge and stay there until I come get you. If I don't come to you before sunset, you are to leave when the night is darkest and follow this map." She pointed to a spot on the map. "There is a city called Osser here. Tell them who you are and ask to speak to the governor right away." Gitana was confused. "But what?" She was interrupted by a loud boom that shook the castle. "No worries, darling," her mother said with a tight smile. "The strangers are just announcing their arrival. We don't know what they want, but we will handle it and all will be well. You just go now." The situation began to dawn on her. "I want to stay with you," she wailed. "I'm sorry, Gitana. I'm so sorry, but you can't. You must go and follow the map if I don't come to you." She heard the castle guard shouting in the distance. "Take my horse and go now." Her mother hugged her tightly, then pushed her out the door to the stables. Her mother quickly readied her horse, then tossed Gitana onto the horse with superhuman strength and yelled, "Giddy up!" Her father appeared then and opened the gates. "I love you," they said in unison. Her father closed the gates while mumbling the words, "It will be okay," and blew her a kiss. With a lump in her throat and a sick stomach, she looked ahead and urged the horse faster toward the cliffs she had just yesterday sworn to avoid. Gitana rode as fast as she could, passing the spot she had stood on yesterday. It took only a few minutes to find the magnolia bush. She dismounted in too much of a hurry and twisted her ankle. Ouch! She cried in pain. There was likely no time to tend to her ankle, so she limped ahead as fast as she could until she saw what looked like a trail. It was very steep. She sat down and started to slide down on her behind when she remembered the food and water her mother packed was still with the horse. She stood and turned to limp back. It took only a minute, but unfortunately, it was a minute too long. When she reached the horse, she saw several soldiers coming toward her. Hello, she called out, attempting to sound friendly. She slung her backpack on and mounted the horse again as casually as possible while looking to her sides for a possible escape route. She found none. Hello, she called again. Is there something I can help you with? She sat as upright as possible as one of the soldiers came to her. She tried to stay calm, but she had never felt so frightened. The soldier said nothing. He seemed interested in the small birthmark on her palm. He nodded, then stepped back to where the other soldiers were standing 20 feet behind. She breathed a sigh of relief until they all grunted in unison, drawing their bows and arrows. 8 arrows were pointing straight at her head. She patted her horse to soothe it as it shivered nervously. An arrow fell at her horse's front left hoof, but it was not one of the soldier's arrows. A second arrow sang through the air and bounced off the horse's right hoof. The horse whinnied shrilly, and then, in an instant, Gitana was propelled into the air. 3 arrows flew at her from short range and missed, while another bounced off her left boot before she disappeared into the cloud mist below.